Okay, so concept marketing is what we'll be covering today, and feel free to jump in, give us any input on what you've done or what's worked well, and also any questions, because it's a small group today, and we can certainly tailor fit it to anybody's personal needs. So what concept marketing is all based on is getting out and positioning a question to somebody that kind of brings about a concept, and the concept gives you an idea of why you should be talking, why they should be talking to you. And it doesn't necessarily mean it'll be actually what you end up talking about, but it's a concept that gets them wanting to talk to you. So it warms up any calls you make. And so, like in my case, if you have an association you're working with, you might send out some concept marketing pieces, and then when you call the people in the association, they know you belong to the association. Now they know an idea that you have that might apply to them. And so, like I have the Wisconsin Campground Owners. They know who I am. They've seen my stuff, they've seen my emails. But then if I sent out a concept about passing on the family business and what is your business succession plan, then that would be a warmer call for me to say, you know, I belong to the Campground Association. I wanted to call you today specifically about the postcard I sent you last week, and I just wondered if you have put together a business succession plan for your campground. So now I know we're talking about campgrounds to everybody I call that day. I know we're talking about business succession plans. It's an easier phone call. It's not just, hey, I'm Becky, you should meet with me. So how do we do that? And what has Mutual of Omaha put out there for you? They put out a great resource. Concept marketing under sales and marketing. If you go on there, you have to talk to yourself about first whether you're focusing on retirees, whether you're focusing on small businesses, or whether you're focusing on just families. Because there's concept marketing for each, and they do differ. So if you go down, here's what it's all about. Providing value and showing people something that they maybe haven't come up with on their own. So it just helps you start the conversation. It'll also help you build a relationship. One thing I know is some of our advisors are very good on the phone at just having a conversation. It sounds less intimidating when you're just having a conversation and asking questions, which is so important, and then getting them talking, because that's really where you can start to build that relationship, and that's where people will let you into their home or meet you for a cup of coffee or come into your office. So it has out there educational materials, has postcards and emails, and then it has brochures. So how would I use that? I would use the educational materials first. I'd send them out with the postcards and emails. Then I would make a call. If the call didn't get anything, I might send out a brochure or something else educational. Then I would call again. So I always recommend that these be on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Send out on Thursdays, call on Tuesdays. Especially for businesses and seniors. Those are days where they're typically, seniors, that's usually the only time you'll catch them at home. They do a lot of doctor's appointments on Mondays. Fridays, they might have family coming to visit, so I try to stay to Tuesdays and Thursdays. And I would recommend you send out the postcard on Thursday, call on Tuesday, send out some educational material again on Thursday, call again on Tuesday, now send out a brochure or an email, call again. So you're constantly starting that cycle. Now what's going to happen is week 1 you're going to send that out, and then week 2 you're going to start a different group. So you're going to need a little organization as to which groups you've sent which to. And there's so many database systems out there, whether it's Outlook or Google Docs or something like that. You're going to need something like that. One I heard that the Home Office has approved is Box.com, so that might be an option for you to look into. I also know that our iNotes is going to go to Outlook, so that might not be a bad direction to head in and kind of be proactive to that. So they're testing that right now. So going down here, you have to pick one of the 3 categories, and I'll just go to families because I think it's probably one that a lot of you have families. That's probably your base flow, your first warm market that you have. right? So you have an aunt, an uncle that you know they're out there, you want to call them, but maybe you want to show them a little bit about what you do first. It's coming, I think. Oh yeah, it's coming. Good morning, Lou. I see you just joined the call. Maybe he's not on the call yet. Maybe he's just on the thing. Okay, so I swear I'm really connected to the internet. Here it comes. There we go. Okay, so as you scroll down, this is where you would have ended up. Okay, so you come down here and they have all the concepts here. So you have lots of concepts to use. You don't have to use them all at once. But what I like about the way that Mutual of Omaha has set this up for you and given you a turnkey system is that you can go in here and say a blend of permanent life insurance policies. So you might say, okay, that might be something that they need to do a life insurance review. So you click that, and then you go down, and you're going to see a video. You can watch and educate yourself first. I'm not saying you don't know what life insurance is. I'm saying let's look at what that concept is putting in their minds so that when you call, you understand what they saw, what their perception was. And then after that, go down and see the description of the concept. Now, sometimes the best solution may be for your client to purchase multiple products. Young adults who are purchasing their first permanent, parents who have families to protect will need estate planning later in life. You know, it talks also about whether or not they need some term as well, because some of them want something that never lapses, some of them want something just to cover the mortgage for the 30 years until they're done with the mortgage, but you might need both. You know, in my husband's and my case, I think we each own at least 3 policies that have different functions to them. We won't have them all after 65, we'll have 2 of them. And one of them is cash value, and the other one is just a goal of being a legacy plan, something for our children. So not everybody does all of those things, but you know, I've been blessed to be able to do that. So if you look at that, you have to get into kind of where they might be and what might be their perfect thing. The statistic out there is that people will buy life insurance 7 times in their life. So with that in mind, if you assume because somebody has life insurance they don't need to talk to you, you would be wrong. And if you assume that you've already covered somebody in life insurance and that you never need to talk to them again, you would be wrong, because life changes, right? I don't know too many people who bought a house at 25, 30 years old and are still living in that house at 50 years old as I know them today, right? Most of the people sell their house, buy a bigger house, everything changes. Get a different job, have more children. Now my life just changed. I bought a cabin and I had a grandchild. Things change, and as things change, so does that programmed out life insurance. So go down here, they have the solutions, the actual product solutions, and there's binders around all of our offices that have this stuff in them, and it actually has the WinFlex illustration showing you the product sale. So it's just a no-brainer. So it has the turnkey points, the client brochure, the postcard, the prospect's email, the sample illustration, all right here in SPA. The great thing is you can order the brochures and postcards with your name on them, your picture if you choose, if you took a good one, and you can get those out to you within a couple days. If I order those brochures today, I will have them by Friday. They go instantly into the queue and they get ordered, so they're really easy. So let's just look at the training key points. Now remember, it has it for businesses as well as retirees. So depending on your market, you're going to have some great ideas. And you know what, as you read through these, there might be a concept that you never even thought of. You might be talking to business owners and you're trying to get their 401k and you've got your laser focus on that 401k, and you turn around and you never even thought about their key employee benefits. And you know, I've had 3 people in the last month ask me about Key Man Insurance. I didn't even think people knew about that. But I guess that was my job to tell them. I don't know what's going on here. I think it's supposed to be coming. Sometimes it's very slow. Alright, I'm gonna go back to here and try it again. Here we go. Any questions so far that I can answer while I'm waiting for the dial-up to log in here?
This is Todd. I'm pulling it up as you're talking about it. And sometimes I'm going at the same pace with you. Sometimes that's just your computer.
More sympathetic I could not be. So the blend of life insurance policies talks about the 2 different types of permanent policies here, cash value or no lapse. That really outlines our GUL and our CUMUL. Also our IUL now is a cash value too. So just talks about all these things, and then it talks about the pros and cons. So you can mail them this, and you can have this for you to read. So this is going to educate you. The brochure at the top is going to, you order that, and it's going to educate the client, and then you're going to be able to make a warmer call. Postage is, you know, going to cost you a little bit, but overall, if you were to go out and buy a lead, or if you were to try to have multiple meetings just to meet these people, you probably would cost you more than the price of the stamp. Money is a huge issue, you can do it by the email marketing. It does give you masses, but it doesn't give you quite the quality of opening a brochure. One thing I would say on all quarterly marketing or all types of concept marketing, mail it in a different type of envelope than you typically would get in your household. Don't fold it all up and put it into a little small regular envelope. Put it in a bigger envelope. It looks impressive. Do not print mailing labels and print them all off. Hand write this, whether it's good writing or not, but hand write it, and then I would not put a return address on it. Why? Because if it returns to you, whatever, I don't even really care if the person got it, to be honest. When I call, I'm just trying to have a concept in my head to talk to them. Second of all, if you put the return address and it says Becky Nommensen, Mutual of Omaha, some address they've never seen, what do you think the odds of that's not going in the circular file before it gets opened? So, we don't want it to go in the circular file. You do want to get this concept in front of your clients. 1, you're going to educate yourself. 2, you're going to educate them. And 3, most importantly, you're going to warm up that call as a starting point. What's going to happen is this might not be the concept that applies to them. You might get in a conversation with them, and then the dog's barking, and you say, oh, what kind of dog do you have? And then they say, oh, well, I really can't talk now because we're leaving for a trip tomorrow. Oh, where are you going? Well, we're going to Mexico. Great. When will you be back? I'll be back in 10 days. Excellent. Is there a reason for your trip, a celebration of some sort? Oh, yeah, it's our anniversary, and my parents are going. We don't know if it'll be their last trip because, you know, they're getting older, blah, blah, blah. I'm taking notes that whole time. I'm projecting in my head what the next concept is I'm going to send them, because I'm going to send them a concept now from the retiree side, right? Because they're trying to take care of their parents. They've got this burden on them while trying to raise their family of taking care of their parents. So let's put a concept in there that's going to help with their parents. So you need to, it's sometimes a longer process, but you need to keep notes on these. And if you don't have a spreadsheet that does that, I can get you one out. I think most of you do, but if you don't, I can. So let's go through and go back and see what else there was. So if you wanted to, you can get the client brochure, the postcard, the sample illustration. I like all of that. If you ever have any questions, I put this up every time. There is a sales support. You can also call me. I really like this kind of stuff. Are you all talking to your current clients? We know birds of a feather flock together. Are you talking to your current clients about their networks, talking about what associations they belong to, what groups they belong to? Because if they belong to a group, the odds are if you like working with that person, you'll like working with those people. It gives you a way of increasing your database every day, and it gives you a way of reaching out to some people, whether it be LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever, and asking for referrals. I mean, why not? I landed on my La Crosse Area Builders Association not because I'm really into building construction, as you might imagine, but because the gal that I network with works next door to the executive director of that association. Every time I went to see that gal, this other gal would come next door and talk to us. It was quite a little chat. Anyway, at one point, I'm sitting having coffee with her, and I asked her what she does, and she said, I'm the head of the La Crosse Area Builders Association. I could tell already that I built a relationship with her over the 2-3 times we had connected, and I said, you know what, I'd really love to be able to help that association get some advice on financials, business, and those types of planning, and for free. And she said, I'm all about it. Next thing you know, a week later, I have the association, it's approved through Mutual of Omaha, and I now have 200 business owners in the La Crosse area that I can talk to. I could send out all of this business stuff to all of those people. So that's kind of how it all starts, is conversations. None of this is gonna replace what you have to do on a daily basis to keep growing your network, but it might warm up some calls to get out there and talk to some people. And I think that Mutual has done a really good job of getting you the brochures, getting you the concepts, even educating you on the concept. And it'll just be a great way of getting out there and having something else to talk to people about. Here's a last thought. What if you've talked to somebody 6 months ago at a business and you talked to them about the 401k or group benefits, and it kind of went dead in the water, never really went anywhere? Do you have those people in your database still, and could you now look on this concept marketing for businesses and find a new concept to kind of start to open the discussions back up? You know what, I've even done, I put a sticky note, a post-it note, print the brochure, put a post-it note, saw this, thought of you, let's talk soon, Becky. Handwritten post-it note. Now you might do it to 200 people, but make it look like, I saw this, John, thought of you, wanted to get this out to you, let's talk soon. If you do that, it warms it up. People will look back at their experience with you. If you weren't a bull in the china shop the first time around, if you were a nice person, they'll probably grant you the meeting again. And maybe this will be something that they see as necessary for their business. Does that help? Let's open up the call. Open up the call for any conversations